Every stock chart you see, it's not just a bunch of lines. It's really a battlefield. It's this fierce, moment-by-moment tug of war between buyers and sellers. And every single bar, every candlestick on that chart tells a tiny piece of that story. Today, in this explainer, we're going to learn how to actually read it.
All right, let's just jump right in with this really powerful idea from Oliver Velez. He says every trade is neutral. I mean, think about it. A buyer needs a seller needs a buyer. It's this perfect, balanced handshake. So the real magic, the story, it isn't in the trade itself. It's in everything that happens after that very first tick, the open.
So that leads to the big question, right? If every single transaction starts from this neutral point, this perfect balance, how do we ever see a winner? How does the price even move? And more importantly for us, how can we tell who's actually in control of the battle? Well, the answer is all about learning the language of the chart. And we're going to start with its most fundamental word, the open. So this is the most crucial point, the open price. Think of it like the opening bell in a boxing match or the whistle at the start of a game. It doesn't matter if we're looking at a 1-minute chart or a daily chart, the open is the agreed upon starting line. It is the neutral ground, and the entire battle is going to be judged from this single point. And this is where you see the first rule of engagement perfectly. The second the price ticks above that opening line, boom, the bar turns green. That means the buyers, the bulls, they're winning. If it drops even a little bit below the open, it turns red. The sellers, the bears, have taken over. It's really that simple. The color tells you in real time who's got the upper hand. But, not all wins are created equal. Sometimes one side doesn't just win a little skirmish, they show up with overwhelming force. And when that happens, the chart gives us a signal that is impossible to ignore. Okay, take a look at this chart right here. There's a story playing out bar by bar, but one of these bars is basically screaming louder than all the others. It's a major, major show of force. Can you see which one it is? If you spotted that huge bar, you got it. That's what we call an elephant bar. And it's exactly what it sounds like. A bar that's so much bigger than all the little bars around it, you just can't miss it. This isn't just a win. It's a powerful statement. It shows a massive amount of conviction from either the buyers or the sellers. But here's the catch. Not all elephant bars mean the same thing. Context is everything. An igniting bar is like the starting gun of a race. It kicks off a new move, and you fully expect more to come. But an exhausting bar, that shows up after a long, long trend. It's like a sprinter's final desperate lunge for the finish line, often right before they totally collapse. One starts the party, the other one ends it. Okay, so we get who's in control at the beginning, and we know what a huge victory looks like. But most of the real action, the real story, happens in those gray areas. The tide of the battle can shift dramatically inside a single bar, and that's what we need to break down next. And to figure that out, we've got one critical number to burn into your brain: 2/3. This is the 2/3 rule, and it is our absolute line in the sand. So let's say the buyers have pushed the price way, way up, creating this big, beautiful green bar. They are in total control. But then the sellers start to fight back. As long as those sellers haven't erased more than 2/3 of that green, the buyers are still holding the line. But the second that 2/3 threshold gets crossed, control is officially lost. It's the tipping point for that bar. All right, let's walk through the 5 levels of control, starting with the absolute strongest. Level 1, absolute control. This is a perfect victory. A solid green bar closing at its highest possible point, or a solid red one closing at its lowest. There's no fight back. Zero hesitation. This is maximum force on display. Okay, moving on to level 2, we have full control. Here, the other side has managed to put up a tiny bit of a fight, creating that small little wick or tail. But just look at it. The bar is still overwhelmingly one solid color. The winning army is completely dominant. They've just barely tapped the brakes. Now we're at level 3, good control. The pullback is a bit more noticeable, but we are nowhere near that critical 2/3 line. The winners are still clearly in charge. Now, this is a really key moment. This doesn't automatically mean weakness. As our source material puts it, this can be like the squat before a dancer's leap back to strength. A quick pause before the next big push. At level 4, this is where things get serious. This is weak control. About half of that bar's hard-won color has been clawed back by the opposition. That solid victory is fading, and it's fading fast. This is your first major warning sign. The side that was winning is now officially in trouble.
And here it is, level 5, lost control. The two-thirds rule, it's been broken. The opposing forces come back and erased more than two-thirds of the color, leaving behind that long, telling tail. The initial victors, they've been pushed all the way back. For this moment in time, for this single bar, the battle is over. And they lost. You know, losing control of a single bar, that's one thing. But what happens when an entire army, a whole winning push, isn't just stopped, but is completely and utterly annihilated? Well, that's the ultimate power shift. Just look at this. You have a big, powerful green bar, a clear, confident win for the buyers. But then on the very next bar, the sellers come in with so much force that they completely erase every single one of those gains and then keep on going. This isn't just a lost battle. This is a complete rout. So just remember this. When you see a 100% reversal like that, where one strong bar is completely wiped out by the next one, control hasn't just been lost, it's been conquered. The entire effort of one side has just been wiped off the map by the other. It's one of the most powerful stories a chart can possibly tell you. So let's do a quick flyby of the key language we've learned today. First, the open is always your neutral baseline. It's the start of every story. Second, keep an eye out for those big elephant bars. They signal powerful, undeniable intent. Third, that two-thirds rule is your critical measuring stick. It's the tipping point for when control is truly lost. And finally, remember that 100% reversal isn't just a loss, it's a total conquest. And this really brings us to the path forward. You now have the tools to read the story of a single candlestick, a single word, a single battle. But what happens when you start putting these words together to read the sentences and then the whole chapter? That's when the full, incredible narrative of the market really begins to unfold.